What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Friday edition of Lindy's Links, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. We're going to do a little live update here as I am watching this here in person. 14-point lead we have for Boston on the lock from yesterday. Hopefully they can hold that down. 4.5. We got Jaylen Brown playing like I was expecting. Again, they did a couple of different things on that road trip. Not finagling the injury report, but hey, might as well rest some Horford, rest some other guys. Jaylen Brown got the night off in Utah. Glad to see him back out there. Eviscerated Phoenix in that second quarter. Looked really, really good. So shout out to producer Jacob and his Celtics. Hopefully they can bring it home for us here and we can all be happy with that lock. And then, hey, it's Friday. This was not my best week. Overall, just working through the betting log, through the premium Discord, this is the first non-profitable week that I've had thus far. The lock won't change that. It's the first non-profitable week I've had in 5 weeks. So there you go. That's the exact number on it. So I got to do a little bit better. I'm going to do better when we get another sport, too. MLB coming next week. Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the MLB Street. The real ones know from last season, it was a print fest, especially in the home run model, especially when we were able to take advantage of postseason stuff, did all the unit tracking over on X for the people. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We're going to be coming to you nice and early here. Going to kick it off with the Soul Series. Yes, I'm going to be doing Dodger, Padre content. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Pacific is when that game kicks off. So that'll be a fun one on the 20th. So producer Jacob, buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. That was Prisoner of Azkaban jokes. It's probably where I should stop. Oh, BetMGM, friends. They are now our sponsor here for the day. Big alert. Noon tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. If you were listening to this after, I apologize. But the Bet 5 Get 150 is live until then at every single state where BetMGM is available. So you got to take advantage of this immediately upon hearing this. You'll have about a 14-hour window from the time that 13.5-hour window by the time this gets posted until 9 a.m. Pacific. So yes, noon Eastern. What is that? 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific. Take advantage of this, and then you'll have up to $1,500 it is in a first bet that you would have an opportunity to get refunded. So if you want to wait for that, you could if you have the larger bankroll, but otherwise, Bet 5, get 150 if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but hey, little longer intro. 6 games on the slate here. 1 lock, though. Don't worry. Feel good about this one the same way I felt good about the 4.5 there with Boston. Producer Jacob. So almost the weekend. Let's get to the picks. We begin our boarding walk here with Phoenix on a back-to-back taking on Charlotte here. 219.5 total. Look at that, producer Jacob. It's an interesting one. But anywho, we've got Charlotte here. I feel nauseous about this. But again, this is where you work through specific stuff. Now, totals, we've been staying away from them for the most part. Not that I haven't been trying. We have a total actually on today's board here that I worked through. Again, there weren't a lot of available props from it, but hey, a total that's going to show up later in the program. Nice to be looking forward to. But I'm going to call this a lean like purely because I understand how many people hate the idea of betting Charlotte, and I totally understand. But let me give you the case for what we have in front of us. We got Beal, we got Booker, we got Durant. Do all three need to play here against Charlotte? I don't know. Feels like Phoenix is pretty locked into the play-in tournament no matter what happens the rest of the way here. Sacramento, they're going to be jostling back and forth for position here as well. We've got the Lakers further down the board. Lots of Western Conference teams where there's some jockeying for position. The Clippers, trying to just stay ahead of the fray here. 4 games up as it stands right now. 16 to play is kind of the approximate number for most teams left. But as I look at the board here for this one, I do think there's a good chance, not a great chance, but a good chance that you get one of the 3 resting against Charlotte on the back-to-back. They're facing Boston right now. In fact, our lock, yes, they're up 16 right now in this fourth quarter. Let's go Boston, dun, 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 clap, all of that stuff. But Charlotte, friends, they've been, is the word improved? I don't know if the word is improved. I don't want to go that crazy, but they're healthy, and they've got some interesting pieces. Misic been playing around 30 minutes a night here. Trey Mann been playing around 30 minutes here, healthy and back. And Grant Williams playing around 35, 36 minutes here in competitive spots, which obviously this doesn't grade out to be. But Charlotte is at home, not playing on Thursday. 2 advantage points for them. Secondly, Phoenix, 25, 38, and 2 against the spread. They have not been a good team relative to expectations this season by any metric, especially and against the spread metric, where obviously they've been publicly backed in a lot of these spots. I'm looking at the Charlotte side here. I did bet this. I did play this, half a unit. If you are looking for something else, I'm very happy for you to pass on this. Wait for some prop exposure. Again, that's what OddsShopper is amazing for, is that you're going to find positive EV bets no matter what state you're in, no matter what sports books you have available to you. You're okay pausing, not having to fire this one up. But for me, I felt comfortable enough in 9.5 knowing that there's more than likely going to be one of the three. Again, a good chance of one of those three guys resting on the Phoenix side. Eric Gordon didn't play against Boston. Maybe he comes back against Charlotte and gives them some form of depth shooting on the perimeter, of course. But give me the rested team getting nearly 10 at home. This moves to 10.5, 11, though. I'm going to be really ticked off I fired this up. We're going to, not Miami, we're going to Detroit. 8 Mile. Lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. You better never let it go. I'm not a great rapper. I think you probably know this by now, but hey, baby, I'm Jalen Suggs. I don't know. I do have good bits from time to time. Miami -6.5 taking on Detroit. Jalen Suggs is not playing in this one. He plays for Orlando. I just wanted to do that. But the Detroit side of things, friends, obviously, they just had Jalen Duren go completely berserk. So shout out to our guy, the OG, the guy who was plus 250 on opening night, plus 230, I believe is where it closed at. Double prop. Yeah, you're not going to find that on planet Earth from now until infinity and beyond because, well, it's an issue. But Cade Cunningham is questionable for this one. I might do an insane thing, though. Obviously, I'm going to be waiting on this news, but plus 220. I keep looking at the money line, and it feels really disturbing to feel like you kind of want to be backing a Detroit team against Miami, but this is going to be a low total. Again, 216 total that we have here on the board. Few possessions. And yeah, Tyler Hero still not going to be suiting up. No timetable now for his return, which is a pretty wild run out. But Caleb Martin, Bam Adebayo, we know the usual suspects that are going to be in here going up against Detroit. But if Cade Cunningham plays, again, huge if, because this number's probably going to move to some extent, and then I probably won't want it. But if I knew Cade Cunningham was playing right now, I would bet plus 220 here on the Detroit side. I know it sounds insane. I know that I talk all the time about Eric Spoelstra being one of the better coaches, but it's all about price relative to expectations. It's all about just price compared to chances of a thing happening. And Detroit getting nearly 2-1 here at home in its current iteration with the way Cade Cunningham's been playing, with the way Duren's been playing. This is different. Like, not saying that Detroit's a good team because they're not, but I like seeing Sasser off the bench. I like seeing Evan Fournier at least exist and not just waste away on the end of the bench in Margaritaville with the Knicks. I almost just screwed up his name. I'm not even going to try to say it. But anyway, we've got Cade Cunningham questionable. If he plays, try to get your money in on this at anything better than plus 210. And hey, probably going to get pushed the other direction. You're probably going to bet plus 250 with me, and we're probably going to lose. But again, I think a much better chance than north of 2-1 here going up against a Miami team that's still in the adjusted net department hasn't been all that good this season. I know that they've been improved, but 18th? I know a lot of you are going to hate that. Let's talk OddsShopper, shall we? OS Premium Tools, friends. Discord Insider Access, $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly. Again, don't have to be firing up Detroit there. I understand that that's not a likely proposition. But again, the positive EV aspect of things, expected value, is that you find the best bets on the board and you can snipe them at your own disposal. You have the opportunity to jump into OddsShopper, utilize the most powerful tool in the industry, group it by your state, by your sports book, and you can find positive EV bets, the best bets on the board, by shopping the marketplace at every single sports book you have available to you. Yeah, it's really that simple. And it's only $15 a week right now. And in addition to that, you have the Fantasy Optimizer for people in non-legal states, for prize picks, for Underdog, for Better, for all of the pick'em sites. You have the Parlay Builder for people who want to build positive EV parlays and put together the best parlays they possibly can. And you get the Discord. Yes, come hang out in Discord. I know a lot of you have that in other avenues, but welcome to the Discord, where we will give you our betting cards every single, for me, Sunday through Friday. Everybody else giving you bets throughout the entire week. Yes, in different sports, different analysts. Great opportunity to really jump in and utilize this before the NCAA tournament. Promo code Lindy does a little something for you too. 20% off, beautiful stuff, expert picks, Discord, premium tools, all in one package. Start utilizing it today. $12 for a week? Yeah, $12 for your first week using promo code Lindy. That would be pretty awesome. Back to the picks we go. My friends, we've reached our lock. Third game of the night, Orlando -6.5 taking on Toronto. And Orlando, let's start on that side here because the play is not on that side. I'll at least give you the skinny. Everybody is active. Everybody's healthy. There are no question marks. There are no issues whatsoever. So that's going to be played pretty darn clean on that side of things. That's why they're 6.5-point favorites going into Toronto. Wild to see that kind of a number here. That just tells you Orlando is a much improved basketball team over years past, no doubt about it. It's been fun to watch Banchero and Wagner come into their own. Wendell Carter, kind of a career renaissance for him in Orlando of sorts. Kind of. That might be a little bit of a Bikram yoga stretch, but either who, let's go to the Toronto side where they are the walking wounded as well. Not the walking wounded compared to a team like Memphis or things of that sort, but you got Chris Boucher, he's going to be out for the season. You got Jakob Poeltl out for the season. You got Scotty Barnes out for the season. The last two matter a lot more. And then RJ Barrett is out here for a personal reason, really sad personal reason. Really sorry to RJ Barrett. That's just an awful, awful story to read today. And DJ Carton as well. He will be out here, who wouldn't really matter, but hey, they've been short on bodies as is. That means that we've got Javon Freeman Liberty and Ramsey, guys that don't really see the floor anymore. Why is that? Because Bruce Brown Jr. is finally starting to play the minutes that he always should have. Now, Gary Trent Jr. is questionable in this one as well. I'm not going to say that I would prefer him in or out because I don't think it really necessarily matters to what the minutes are going to be for Bruce Brown Jr. 38 against Denver in that first start in quite some time. 33 against Detroit in both these road spots. Now goes back home. And what is his introductory number at -105 on DraftKings? Why, friends, 22.5 PRA is -105. Interesting, because I started running his rates that I am predicting for this one. He's at a 16% usage between his time at Indy and his time in Toronto this season. You got to upgrade that severely without Barnes and without RJ Barrett on the floor. So I took that to 19.5%. He hasn't been shooting the ball well this season, which is why you hadn't seen the floor a whole lot in Indy. 30.5% from three, 55.3% true shooting. But we know defensively he was making differences over on the Denver side things last season. I should probably just keep going. But on the Denver side of things, like, it's been a downgrade here for Toronto because, again, they're not a great defensive team. But I know this is going to be a slower, slug-it-out game, but it's got a 223.5 total for a reason, higher than the two previous games we just covered. And why? Well, again, 19% usage I'm putting in for Bruce Brown and an opportunity to really see a jump in his assist rate, which is only at 12.1% for the season. Last couple of games, been far more involved at the point guard position, leading the offense, 8 assists the last two, which doesn't sound like a lot. But compared to that 12% assist rate, you got to bump that one up. And he's always been a pretty darn good rebounder for a 3 or a 2, however you want to look at him. Nearly a 15% defensive rebound rate, which is improved over last season's 13.1%. All in all, mid-30s minutes in competitive spots. No reason not to be playing him and figure out how he constructs with Grady Dick, with Kelly Olynyk, who will definitely be a part of this team going forward, as will Emmanuel Quickley, the main star of the show at the moment. So I know it might seem a little bit thin to a certain extent for a lock, but I have a unit on it. I feel pretty confident about it with these given rates and these certain minutes. Would actually be all right to have Gary Trent out of there. They just don't have any guards then left. Bruce Brown Jr. over 22.5 PRA, your lock for Friday. Hopefully it can look as good as what this lock is looking like for the Boston Celtics here at the moment. Get her done, partner. Get her done. The Clippers, the Pelicans. We got the Clippers on a back-to-back, which just sends off alarm bells. We're not going to get a whole hell of a lot in terms of props from this one until the injury report comes out for the Clippers. Kind of an interesting run out from Thursday. Let me talk you through it. If you missed it, Kawhi Leonard played, despite playing just 12 minutes and having back spasms against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Paul George played. James Harden ended up resting, which was a little bit of a surprise to me how this all panned out. Now, are they setting this up to be something where you have then Mr. James Harden stepping in here on the back-to-back and leading the offense, having Kawhi sit? It'd be strange to me to see Kawhi not be 100%, playing 100% of the minutes that he normally would against the Bulls. You put him in bubble wrap if there's any issue, but maybe is now when you show a little bit of precaution and you rest him. Either way, Bones Highland gets the start against Chicago. Just a strange starting situation. Now, he can go out and get you a bucket. They are running Chicago off the floor here at the moment, but I want to at least show my trepidation that I have about backing the Clippers here, although my model would say at the point in time with everybody in, this would be a great bet against the Pelicans, a team that we haven't been betting against a whole hell of a lot because they've been much, much improved. 36-28 1 against the spread. Second half of the season, they were number one in defensive rating until getting the doors blown off of them last time out. So I'm going to just be showing some trepidation by taking a total. Again, 222. That is pretty efficient to have everybody in there, but yeah, you're bringing Bones Highland, somebody who's only offensive centric and a bad defender, but Kawhi Leonard can go get you a bucket. If you have James Harden and Paul George out there, we just saw the inefficiency that they've had in multiple spots without Kawhi Leonard. I think this is a spot also where James Harden could just miss back-to-back games and you give him an extended break. So lots of ways where I think the total, too high for what I expect the Clippers could look like come this game. And again, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, the third, the defense that the New Orleans Pelicans have been playing of late is still suffocating. Under 222, I like it. It's pretty clear cut, half unit, first total in a while. Friends, just shine the blinking lights. We have an absolute utmost emergency for you here right now. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, go down to the link below. Again, if you're getting sports betting in a state like North Carolina, if BetMGM is something you haven't signed up yet, take advantage of this offer because it is going away, according to BetMGM, at noon on Friday, Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Friday. Yes, that is a very tight window. If you were listening to this evening or the morning before, get yourself to BetMGM and sign up and bet $5. Yeah, you heard me. $5 at the link below. And you'll get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That is a ridiculous deal. Again, I know that Bet365 has their stuff going on here as well, but BetMGM, this is going to go away, and that's why I wanted to bring it to you today. Get you an opportunity to get $150 in bonus bets that you otherwise wouldn't have. Again, just by betting $5 on anything. It could be what I talk about today, anything else. As soon as you bet that, you're getting $150 in bonus bets. So again, if you're new to betting here in North Carolina, if you have betting and you just haven't signed up at BetMGM because you were waiting for an offer like this, take advantage of it today. Bet 5, get $150 in bonus bets if you're 21 and over, 18 and over in Kentucky, and if you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Two more games, back to the picks we go. The Denver Nuggets, San Antonio Spurs coming up here next on our radar, and boy, am I mad at the Jokic situation. So took less than his 25.5 points, which kind of salvaged a little bit of the stuff in terms of like a pick'em card that I had put together for the people. But the Joker triple-double, man, it was sitting so right there. Bam Adebayo just completely shut down everything. Defensively, he is an absolute beast. I love watching Bam play. The capabilities he has on the defensive end, just unlike anything. But 12 points, 14 boards, and just 6 assists for Jokic because, well, nobody was knocking down shots. It was a pretty brutal game to watch, that's for sure. I believe it was 188 was the final, and yeah, Denver did win, so that was surprising enough as is. But either that's not here nor there. We're going to San Anton. There's a joke there from Charles Barkley that we're not going to say because you can't say it anymore. It's not very nice, but it's also... Anyway, Keldon Johnson off the injury report should be back for this one. That's fascinating enough. And Victor Wembanyama, excited to watch him going up against Joker, although Joker... say he has a little bit of an advantage over the youngling here because, well, he's been in the NBA for a while. He's a reigning MVP. Well, not reigning MVP. He's a two-time MVP before the reigning Joel Embiid, who's not playing right now. And Joker's heavy favorite to win the MVP as of right now, as he should be. But friends, think this one is just a clear-cut, fire it up, Denver minus 10.5. Denver coming off an interesting spot there in Miami. And yeah, I just trust this Denver team to go out and put the absolute gauntlet down. And this is one of those lines that I just think moves to 12.5 before you even know it. And sure, Wemby going up against Joker, going to be incredible, but don't try to get in the habit of trying to bet these ones without any injury news pending. Everybody on both sides, a known quantity unless something random shows up on the injury report. I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit. I don't think anything shows up in the injury report from Denver. They want to keep winning basketball games, sitting at a pretty decent spot here in the West, starting to ascend the board, looking better. They're number one in the West if the playoffs started today. So yeah, they want that. Denver minus 10.5, clear-cut play for me. We continue on. And the last game of the night here, Atlanta taking on Utah. Atlanta, small small little baby favorite here, +1. Will say a fascinating stat I ran into over on the Twitters. I wish I could give credit to somebody because I know that I did not come up with this. It was something that I put in my notepad and then I couldn't go back and find the tweet. So in the last 3 games, DeJounte Murray has averaged over 10 minutes of having the ball in his possession. Luka leads the league at like 8.5 minutes per game. So DeJounte Murray is playing a ridiculous, unprecedented role here for this Atlanta team. They're taking on the Utah Jazz here in this spot. In Utah, they are walking wounded at the moment. Taylor Hendricks questionable, but the biggies, Chris Dunn out, Lauri Markkanen still out, and Jordan Clarkson out. So Keontae George, Colin Sexton, I think Sensabaugh, Hendricks, and Collins ends up being their starting 5. Kessler stays on the bench here. And then Jalen Johnson upgraded to questionable here on the Atlanta side, which is a fascinating little run out. Fascinating little run out indeed. But we're waiting for props here. I'm very interested to see where Keontae George ends up landing here. Now, this kid is starting in his rookie season, starting at the point guard position here. Colin Sexton will definitely be out there, and he'll have to fight him for usage. They'll try to pry the ball away from each other a time or two. But really like what Keontae George has started to do here. 36.4% from 3. There was a time not too long ago in this season where he was sub 30%. And he has definitely brought that back here with some hot shooting of late. I'm not sure who he's working with, but 5 for 10, 5 for 8, 6 for 14 from 3 in 3 of his last 4. I'm not counting the Washington game where he played 6 minutes, had a rumbly in his tumbly, and did not come back out. So shooting the ball exponentially more, exponentially better. Want to see a points prop. Maybe it opens at 20.5, 21.5, and I'm just being silly about this. But Atlanta, we know the pace that they bring to the table. And Keontae George, I feel more secure about his minutes, despite a lot of places that have had Colin Sexton projected for more minutes of late. I think Keontae George is locked into like 36 a night here with Utah because they have no reason not to play him 36 minutes a night here with their rookie. So I think you're going to see him play a ton coming down the stretch of this season, coming off the 31, 29, 26. Very curious where this points prop opens, considering it had been hovering at 19.5, 20.5, quite a bit here. Maybe this ends up a lot higher than I think, and this will have to be a parlay piece, or we'll have to look at the 25 plus. But Keontae George, 20 plus points, just going to call it a lean for the time being, mainly because I do want to attack Atlanta here, but wanted to point out there's going to be props that are available in this game that I have tons of interest in. Hey, Bogdanovich over 3.5 assists, maybe run that on back. Huh. We'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. And what am I trying to say? Great ending, Eric. Way to go. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on Friday's board. Hopefully we can run back another great lock like we had on Thursday. Thank the heavens. It was good to get back on the board there for sure. But yeah, doesn't feel great to have the week that I did, but hopefully we can rebound. 5 weeks profitable previous. And then, yes, this whole week happened. Well, really, Tuesday happened. Tuesday was not fun. Well, neither was Monday. Neither was Wednesday. Monday was okay. Wednesday was terrible. Tuesday was terrible. Thursday's better. I should really just go, shouldn't I? Yeah, check out BetMGM down below, friends. Check out producer Jacob. His great work that he's doing all the time on all of the things, including MLB Lindy's coming to you next week. Till next time, friends, have a great weekend. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Friday.